Hello everybody, and welcome. Well, perhaps welcome to myself, because I just came home. I was in Greece for about 1.5 weeks, playing in the European Club Cup. And well, didn't do too well. 3 draws, 4 losses. So, not too happy about that. My worst tournament in a while. Lost like 18 rating points. So feeling pretty bad about that. But, you know, it was fun to get away from the ever depressing news here in Iceland, and, you know, to get some sun. Came home a few hours ago and it's back to the snow, I guess. So, you know, I felt like I owed you guys a video after a long time without one, and well, eventually I'm gonna try to analyze my games from the European Club Cup. Played against stronger opponents every round except one. In one round I was the higher rated opponent, but my opponent was an IM, and you know, just like 1 year ago he was well over 2400, so I would say I was underdog in most of the games. But still, I should have done better. However, I'm not in the mood still to go over my losses, or even my draws. Only one of them was interesting, I think. One was a short draw, and well, okay. The other one had some chances there. But in one of the rounds, this beautiful game caught my eye. And it's between Grandmaster Aronian with white and Grandmaster Andrei Volokitin with black. Aronian, one of the elite, a top 5 player usually, and his current rating is 2757. And Volokitin is also very strong, from the Ukraine, 2659 at the moment. I think he was, well, if not number 1, at least number 3 in the ELO rankings among juniors for a while. But okay, for some reason I saw this game. I mean, I haven't seen every game, but for some reason I was looking at the games on ICC after this round, and well, after you see this game, it's easy to see why it caught my eye. But okay, they play the Slav. I know Aronian is very versatile, so he plays e4 and d4, I think. For the moment, I mostly remember d4, so I think he's mostly a d4 player. But this e3 move seems to be like the latest fashion. In the same round, Ivanchuk beat Carlsen, playing e3 as well. So, you know, they have these sort of trends at the top. I heard about c takes d5 becoming some sort of a weapon again, but again, I don't play much Slav, so I don't know. g6. Usually, well, black has some options here. He can play e6, g6, let's see what else. Even a6, going for the Cheparenko Slav. But e6 is probably the most popular move here. This move is cunning because bishop f5 is a mistake now, I think, because of queen b3. But if the knight is on f3, I think it's okay. Anywho, g6, I think this is now called the selector variation. Not sure though. Bishop g7, h3. Not the most common move, but a logical one. He wants to block the prospects of this bishop, who can really only develop on these squares to some effect. Black castles, bishop d3. One would think that he's stopping the development of this bishop with the bishop e3 move, because, well, bishop f5 doesn't look like a good move. But as it turns out, black plays bishop e6. I'm not sure. It's a theoretical move. Just check the opening book. Bishop e6 been played once before. Well, h3 isn't a really common move, so I don't have many examples here. The most common move here is c5. So bishop e6. Aronian thought for a little while here. His first thing in the game, and played knight g5. So he was probably surprised by this. And now bishop f5. White bishop e6 and then bishop f5. Isn't the knight better on g5? I think black is probably thinking that it's worse off on g5 because it will have to lose time. Number one from some h6 move, and black will probably play e6, and then if he moves the knight, then the knight on g5 will be hanging. So black thinks it's better for him to have the knight there. So we'll see. Now queen b3, putting pressure on b7. This is always classical in Slav structures when the bishop is left to f5. The problem with the b7 pawn. And I think there's really only one way here to protect it. Queen to b6. If you go queen c8 or queen c7, then d5 is hanging. But now white retreats, queen to c2. White did he play queen b3 and then queen c2? Why didn't he just play queen c2 right away? Again, same considerations. He probably thinks the queen is where, even though it's developed, that it's better for him to have it on b6 than on d8. If it's on b6, c5 can come with tempo. There's one less defender on d5. And in case of e6, like black played here, there's no attack from the queen on the knight if the black knight moves from f6. So this is probably what Aronian was thinking about here. After e6, of course the pawn was attacked, so it had to be defended. Powerful move, g4. And this is a pawn sacrifice. Of course not right away, because obviously if black takes, he's in trouble. h7 is hanging, and he can't take the pawn because of the checkmate. A little too elementary, but okay. However, he can play h6, that's what it did. Knight retreats, and now black decided to take the pawn. I don't know if there's not much else to do. White is starting g takes f5, winning a pawn and opening the g file, so black more or less has to take. And now another powerful move, and this reminds me of the g4 in the semi-slav, the Shabalov variation. e4. White is just trying to open lines against the black king, opening up for the bishop on c1 and preparing to, I don't know, maybe take on d5, maybe go e5, depends on the situation, but wants to open up for his bishop, which was sort of obstructing this game before that. Now d takes c4. This could be a questionable move, I don't know. I'm not really, analyzing this because, well, it's a very complicated game, and maybe I'm not the most qualified person to do that. But I want to show this game and some ideas and some lines, but by no means am I big authority on this game. So d takes e4. My feeling is it might be a mistake. I don't know. Maybe white just takes on d5 otherwise. He certainly doesn't want to take on e4 because knight takes e4 with tempo and everything will be thrown at the black king. So he takes on c4. Maybe he's trying to contain white here. But now e5. I think this move sort of reminds me of the way Kasparov plays. He's always trying to cut the board in half. And with e5, he's opening up sort of a shuttle here on e4 for his pieces. The knight or the queen can come to e4 and transfer to the king side. And meanwhile, this e5 pawn. It's really stopping, cutting the board in half. Knight d7 can no longer come to f6, etc. So basically the queen, the knight and the rook more or less can't defend the king. So let's see what happens. Knight d7, and here, at least according to the clock on the inner chess club, Aronian used up most of his time here, or the most time for one move. Went from 69 minutes to 20 something, so fought for more than half an hour. Played bishop to e3. So he basically wants to get castled, and then after he castles, this rook can come to g1 here and put more pressure on the black position. So taking on e3. It's probably a bad idea for black here. White will just fortify his center with takes e3. And now he's also ready to double on g-file. So white has tremendous compensation here for the sacrificed pawns. But Volokitin tried to block the position with f5. A logical attempt. Aronian castled, and no c5 by black. I'm not sure what is best for black here, but one wonders how Aronian would continue his attack. Probably rook g1, and even taken on g4 or something like that. After c5, d5. Yet another powerful move. Basically, Aronian is just throwing everything at black here. Okay, obviously this cannot be taken because knight takes, introducing another piece to the attack and opening up a line for the rook on d1. And you know, depending on where the queen goes, maybe knight c7, knight e7 check, takes on f5, etc. And if black takes on e5 here, probably knight takes e5, and bishop takes e6. Let's see, something like this. And this will probably be too risky for black. Although maybe analysis will reveal something like knight d3 or something, giving black chances. I don't know, but let's see what happens. d5, f4. This looks logical. Just putting a question mark on the bishop on f4. So maybe this was the idea with c5. But now comes a really powerful move. Knight to g5. And the threat is simple. Simply queen h7 mate. And there's really not much to do about it, but to take the knight. If you play something like rook to f5, it seems like white has an excellent game. He takes one pawn back, and the rook will be hanging, and he can take an f4 next, and well, then he has basically recovered material and keeps an excellent position. So well, maybe it could be the best chance, but he decided to take on g5. He couldn't see white winning, I guess. Queen h7 check, king f7, and now knight to e4. White has sacrificed 2 pawns and now one piece. and his bishop on e3 is hanging. However, it's not easy to find a move for black here. For instance, if we take on e3, then simply d takes e6. And this is just losing because if we take here, then we win the queen, and everything will fall. And if black tries to hold on somehow, first of all, we can probably just take with the pawn, and also we have queen g6, which will mate in a few moves, threatening knight d6, etc. So after knight e4, black took on d5. Again, trying to hold on, but now comes another powerful move by Aronian, e6. Just showing, total disregard for pawns here. Again, queen takes e6, knight takes g5, check. So he has to take with the king. Now queen takes g7. Well, what can black do here? What is the threat? Well, let's play some random move. I don't know. Protect the knight. What happens? What happens? What's the threat? Knight to g5, king d6. Those are an awful lot of pawns. Maybe queen takes g5. Can't really take the knight because queen takes g4. Probably this has to retreat. And yeah, this is probably. White will always keep some. Get some compensation for these pawns because the king will be very exposed. But maybe something like this was black's best chance, but the computer is really coming around now, giving white a big plus. +1 when he's 2 pawns down. That means a big advantage. Okay. The computer says knight takes g5 here, but this looks nice. But now instead of d8, Volokitin played knight d to f6. And he's just trying to block white's attack, get some sort of a fortress, and get his king to safety. So at this point, maybe he's hoping for something like knight takes g5 when he runs away with the king, and king seems safe here for the moment. And well, he is 2 pawns up, although white has definite compensation here. This was probably his idea. However, well, I already accidentally showed it. Another powerful move. Bishop takes e5. Well, this has to be taken. If the queen moves, knight takes g5 seems like it's close to mate. So it takes, knight takes e5. Queen takes. And well, quite frankly, it doesn't look like white has enough here. He's down a piece and 3 pawns. However, this is just checkmate. Or winning the queen, truly amazing. Rook d to e1. Outstanding job of calculating, I would say. Volokitin played King F5. However, if he goes to the queen side, White has a force to win here. And, well, it wouldn't hurt you to stop the video and calculate and find out for yourself. If you're back, you probably found Queen E7, the most forcing move, King C6, Rook E6 check, King B5, and now you had to find E4, stronger than Queen takes B7, because the king can take, because Queen takes E5, so King B4, but now Queen takes B7 is even stronger, because King takes E4, then Rook A6 check. Queen interposes, and now it's simply mate in 2 after the I don't know what to call it, Narcissus. King C2. It's such a beautiful move. Just King C2. It's the main next move. What you gonna do? Rook, piece, and a 3 pawns down. But checkmate. So this is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Also, he can't give up his queen here because it's still just checkmate. So he can't go that way. Also, of course, he can't go knight e4. It will be checkmate, I think, in a few moves. So King f5. Hello. He has to go in here. And checkmate. So there only remains King to f5. But again, I blew it. Seems like, you know, Rook H1 would have been the natural move, but then G4 might hold on for a while. Certainly there's nothing obvious in the position. But again, Aronian found another great move, Rook H5. Threat is simply Rook takes G5 mate. I mean, you know, Black plays something like that. It's just mate. So, actually the best move, according to the computer, is Queen to E3, which shows how bad the situation is. And Knight takes H5, like played in the game. Well, that's just another forced mate. Queen takes H5, Queen E2. And, well, it's a maiden of you. We don't really need to show that Queen H5 mate. What a beauty! What a beauty! I really like this game, and well, people tend to like these games more than some kind of technical wins. I don't mind the technical wins, but these kind of catch your eye. I mean, it was a brilliant game, I think. So let's go over it quickly. The Slav defense. Somewhat strange line. And then Aronian started opening files. G4. A pawn sacrifice, and then another powerful move, E4, opening lines, cutting the board in half. And then just throwing everything at black. Finally, this piece sacrifice here. Another pawn sacrifice. A piece sacrifice, and then it's checkmate. It's truly amazing. Truly amazing. Truly amazing. This is one of the best games we've seen in quite some time. And well, Aronian is a great player and a great calculator, and he's capable of these games. So keep an eye out for his games. Yeah, I don't know what to say. So bye bye.